Hey, Renee, Chris, and Ryan going live. Best podcast, Beauty and the Beast. Sit back and catch a vibe. Oh yeah, we talking zombies and apocalypses and all those things you like. Going beast mode, and if you didn't know, it's Peter Z up on the mic. Hey, TWD family, grab the snacks about the pantry and subscribe and like if you can, please. Or those walkers eat you like some candy. Hey, okay. You at the right place at the right time. No one does it better, that's the bottom line. Beauty and the Beast, this is prime time. Let's go.
I want to make sure that I get the fade out correct because we don't want it to repeat because that's just embarrassing.
True.
I love the song, it's a bop. But yeah.
It's a bop, yo.
Live chat. There we go.
Nobody's there.
All right. Just wanted to make sure. Didn't want to miss anybody.
Wah, wah, wah.
So I'm gonna open up and say, "What's up, everybody? How we doing?
Fellow co-host?
Yeah, what's going on?
What's shake-a-lakin'?
Bacon? Now bacon.
Yeah. So we're here for season 1, episode 9, the finale
Yes.
of The Last of Us.
It's episode 90.
No, not 9. 9. Didn't we end last week with 9?
Yes, we did.
Oh, okay, so we're kicking it off again with
It's come full circle.
with the 9.
Full circle?
Yep.
Full circle? You're right there? Would you like peanut butter? Full circle?
Do you want a permanent speech problem?
No, I used to have one, alright? My speech therapy is very traumatizing as a child, alright? Hey, look, it's a stuttering kid. Yeah.
So, y'all, what did we think? What did we think of the finale? I know we're not doing a re-rating. We're not rating this episode. Or we rating it and then doing a show with the whole rate. What are you doing?
No, we're good. We're fine. We're good.
Oh God! Look at this. So yeah, we'll rate the episode. Ryan's doing all sorts of shit that he shouldn't be doing. I guess. I don't know.
Ryan, stop! You're gonna break the computer again.
He had something from
Whoa.
and I'm not sure what it was, but
Okay, so hold on.
it looked a little suspicious.
Off topic, but they have these refreshers that are actually delicious. Except they're very sugary. So I asked for less sugar. Well, I'm looking at the sticker they slapped on there, and it says less ice, but not less sugar. So they fucked it up. Because there's a lot of sugar for me to be drinking that at 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah, thanks, Duncan.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Great.
I'll be your entertainment this evening.
I guess so. Ryan's all hopped up on the sugar
Do you
high.
take candy as payment? Because
So yeah, I mean,
more sugar.
I think we could do we'll just rate it like we have been right along. Just give our vibe out there and what we thought. But yeah, I mean, so Meg, I know that there was a lot of side-by-side comparisons to the video game. A lot of dialogue was the same. So I mean, as a gamer, what was your feeling of the episode?
I kind of said this in our text from earlier. It's weird. It felt rushed, but it felt perfectly executed all at once.
Okay.
There was a lot that was omitted, but the parts that we did see, I loved it, and I loved watching. How in earlier episodes we were saying we felt like we were watching cutscenes from the game. Well, when Joel went all Rambo, I felt like we were watching the actual gameplay this time.
Mm-hmm.
So I loved watching that because it felt like we really were playing that part of the game.
Right.
And that was perfectly executed.
And I know the giraffe part as well. And the giraffe has a lot of significance in the game itself, right? Yes. I mean, I think that there was wasn't there like a stuffed animal giraffe?
I think I touched upon this last week. I don't remember if I did.
It was buried under one of the cars and wreckage or something like that.
And then there was a giraffe in Sarah's room.
Yep.
And in Ellie's room, quote unquote, in Jackson, there's a picture of a giraffe on the wall because it's meant to represent innocence.
Right. Yes, I did see that somebody had posted something that the meaning of the giraffes. Innocence was one of them. Something else too. I can't remember what the other one was, but
I always just knew innocence. I wasn't sure what the other thing.
I think it had to do with resilience, maybe, or patience. Patience had to do with patience. So they symbolize
creatures.
Yeah, patience. That's what it was.
It gave me the vibes of the scene from Jurassic Park with the Brontosaurus and they're feeding it. You know what I mean? That's the first thing I thought of when I saw it. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Did you guys did you see the making of and how they filmed that scene? With the
I didn't get to watch it yet. No. Was that real or was that CGI?
The giraffe was completely real.
Wow.
Because at first I thought it was CGI. And
Yeah.
in comparison to the Walking Dead deer.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you can't. No, that was the worst CGI deer ever.
That was the worst.
That was not CGI. The deer was not CGI. Did you read that?
No. Yeah, but like that thing was real.
You have to read my article. It was not.
Alright. Can you send it to me?
Yeah, I will. Okay.
And that was the worst real deer I've ever seen in my life.
I'm telling you, there's a reason behind it, but it was sports, but it wasn't.
Did it have rabies? It was looking rough.
Definitely read that.
Looking a little rough.
It was looking a little rough.
So they filmed, a lot of times they film stuff with green screen and they try to use the most practical effects possible, which you can only do so much. What they did with the giraffe, though, they brought this giraffe in. Thankfully, Alberta had a zoo with giraffes. They brought the giraffe in and slowly let it get used to all the blue screen that they used.
Oh.
So that way, when they were able to film it, the giraffe felt like it was in a natural habitat, despite it being all blue versus, nature green.
Okay.
So they, obviously the building they were in was fake. So they just stood on a ledge and gently fed the deer or the giraffe, and it was. I have the deer in my mind now. It was just, despite it being all blue, it was straight out of the game. It looked so beautiful.
That's awesome.
Renee, since you were not a gamer, what was your
Yes, this is the one I'm most excited for.
what was your feeling of the finale?
I loved it. I thought it was amazing. I was sharing this in our text today that I didn't know what to expect, but in my mind, what I was building up to was they were going to get there, and the location was going to be destroyed, and there was going to be nobody left, or maybe one person left, or something like that. But I mean, I didn't see them obviously getting a cure because there's another game.
Mm-hmm.
So there's more to. So I expected like everything to be destroyed, and then maybe a person there to tell them what happened or something to lead them on to their next, wherever they're going to go next, to the next part of the game. So I was very, shocked and everything, and I was 100% on Team Joel's decision. I loved how he handled it. As a parent, would have handled it the same way, and I just thought it was amazing. I love how they ended it just okay, and it was done, and I thought it was awesome. And I did love the when he was shooting everyone, like you said. I thought, wow, this seems like like I'm not, I know what that looks like. That's what it felt like. It felt like you're right in the game. So I thought, I'm going to show you gameplay. Yeah. So yeah, I was very impressed with it. Now I know
Ryan had the, I think, unpopular opinion.
Yeah,
I did.
The hot take.
Was that the first watch though, or second watch?
Second watch was much better than the first. But I still thought that a lot of what happened was very predictable, in my opinion. I don't know, there wasn't a lot that happened that I was just like, oh wow, I didn't see that coming. And I mean, even to the point of how Ellie became immune to it, with her mom getting bitten and, et cetera, et cetera. That was already like, I think if you can talk about that, I think that was like one of my prevailing theories.
Mm-hmm.
And so even that, I was just kind of like, oh, like I kind of guessed something very similar to that. And then everything, like him, like when he shot the doctor, you know what I mean? I was just like, oh, I expected that. And then what was the woman's name that he shot in the garage? Marlene. When he shot her, I was just like, he's definitely not just gonna leave shit alone. Like, he knows for a fact that she's gonna look for Ellie. Like, as far as anyone's concerned, she's the only person that they know was immune. They're not. No, I was just gonna say the Fireflies are not gonna leave that alone. Like, they're not. So he's gonna have to kill her, or I don't know. I overall I did like it. There was a lot of really good moments, and I think I talked about it in the group chat. But like the scene with the giraffe was similar to I forgot what episode it was. But when they saw the sun coming through the building and it had the grassy area and everything, it was like butterflies and shit. It was like this moment of like, even in all this episode 2, I knew it was early, but yeah, it was like even amongst all this death and all this destruction and collapse and everything, you could still find beautiful moments if you just, you have to look. You know what I mean? And that's the same thing I felt with the draft. But again, overall, I was still happy with it. So please don't come for me. But I did a lot of it. And there was no twists and turns for me to really be like, oh my God, I didn't expect that. You know what I mean?
Now, you saw the gameplay, right? 'Cause I know Chris did.
I did not.
Oh, okay. Then, all right. I was going to ask, like, did you think it was predictable because you saw the game?
Nope.
This whole time, I thought you did. Like, for the past 9 weeks, I thought you did.
Nope.
No, just me.
Nope.
I mean,
You
so
played off really well.
yeah, I mean, I knew obviously how the game ended, so I was just kind of waiting for that moment to happen, and because like the episode as a whole, there wasn't much to it. You know what I mean? I was kind of upset that like from the last week's episode, I was talking to Ryan about this briefly before you guys popped on, and I was kind of upset that like we end on such a, I don't want to say a high note because of what Ellie went through, but the relationship was on a higher note. The Joel pretty much making her his new daughter, you know what I mean? Like adopted daughter. And the emotion and everything there. To have the show open up with Ellie kind of detached emotionally. And like I was assuming that was because in her mind, the journey's over. She's going to be separated from Joel, like this type of, like this is where their paths separate. So I feel like maybe that had a lot to do with her emotional detachment. And I was waiting for him to say something because, he's talking to her about the guitar, playing, I think the game was Boggle or something like that. So like he's trying, and at the same time, she's like just detached, not there. So, I mean, that kind of like,
Take it that way.
yeah, see, to me, she was just like in another place. She wasn't, she was emotionally like not there at all with him.
I think she just went through a pretty
Yeah,
significant
well, yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. For like, I was kind of,
I didn't think it was detachment from him. I think, she's just, she's a 14-year-old girl who, I mean, I don't care how old you are. That's gotta be, I don't care, man or woman or, any type of trauma like that, that's going to stick with you for a long time.
Yeah.
It actually goes into the second game, too.
Okay, yeah. And so I feel like I kind of see what you're saying, but I guess I just took it as her still trying to process that as a child. She is just a little girl and doesn't know much about any of that. I mean, her world's just so different than what we know, and her not, she's very naive to a lot of things, and I guess I just took it as, she's still trying to process a lot of things.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, she's trying to process the fact of like, is this where their story ends? Like they're going to meet up, and she's going to be the cure, and like all these things are going to happen, and so. But yeah, it just I kind of felt like I thought that the relationship would look closer than they portrayed, I guess. After what had happened.
I guess they were doing it on his side, like he.
Right.
Where she's been pretty open with him, and she's been more like welcoming of his, him to her, and he has been pushing her away. So I think they were showing that he finally has gotten to that point. And do we know how long it's been since the last episode? Did we ever get a reading of it?
Well, last episode was winter, and this is spring.
So, but they also traveled. They traveled to Utah. I mean, how far? They were way north and then went south. Yeah. Okay. So that's. Because it could be less snow. I didn't know if it was spring, or if it was
think
less
maybe
snowy there.
Yeah.
I think I was probably I think it was like late winter. Because the thing is, the winter chapter is pretty much almost all David. So David was the main antagonist of that chapter. So the game ends in spring, but we don't know really when in spring.
Okay, I just because someone had said that they're like, oh, he looks so much better already, and I was like, well, there's no snow, so we're in a different season possibly, and he would have time to heal in that. So I just didn't know if there was any, with the game, if there was an indicator to exactly how much time it passed.
Yeah, you'll notice like they don't have their jackets anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and it's windy, it's sunny.
There's something Yeah, exactly. But, like, that's something that applies to even, like, Walking Dead type shows or any apocalypse show. So in the winter, they're all bundled up nice and warm. They have their backpack. Where do they shove their jackets?
I was thinking the same thing, Meg. I really was.
Just Last of Us, every apocalypse show.
Yeah.
Do they just have a spot where they just squirrel their shit away for 6 months?
It's
They
like
might.
a video game where they just have like you can fit like a rocket launcher in your pocket. Like,
Well, Joel has his spots where he switches out guns,
Yeah.
ammo, whatever. So he might have lockers, like areas where he has stuff
yeah, but
stashed.
He's never ventured this far.
Yeah, he hasn't been this
Yeah.
far.
Oh, okay. Well,
So that's what I'm getting at.
right.
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah.
Jackman, I got a question for you.
Yeah. Get Neil on the phone.
Get them on the show. Let's go. We're gonna ask the hard questions.
Yeah.
We need clickers for season 2. I got 4 people that we're good on.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I could be one of the
Yeah.
bloaters.
That'd be fun.
My coworker did a really good clicker impression. So one day, my other coworker had him do it, and I heard it from down the hall. You just hear me yelling, like, now!
That's amazing.
The one thing that kind of like that I laughed at was, I know we talked about the giraffe scene and everything, but when Ellie like jets and takes off and goes running through the building, did you notice? So like I'm trying to figure out how this building is like positioned, because the giraffe obviously is like in that blown out opening of the building.
Yeah.
But if you watch Joel, he's got to go up. He goes up like 3 staircases. So I'm like, how big is this fucking giraffe? And he's like, how long is this giraffe's neck? I'm like, Joel just went 3 stories up. I'm like, I know they're big, but man, he just went like 30, 40 feet up in the air. Like according to like this.
How tall a giraffe is.
That's the girth of the giraffe.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe the building had like some kind of yard area that came up. But I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, man, this guy just ran up like 4 flights of stairs.
All right, I got your answer. A female giraffe can be anywhere from 14 to 17 feet. A
That's
male
not gonna cut
giraffe
it.
can be anywhere from 16 to 19 feet.
Still gonna be shy by about 20 feet.
I was like 16 to 19 is about what? 2 stories?
2 stories, yeah.
Close to?
Yeah. So I mean, maybe the building's first floor is underground.
Yeah.
Like you gotta go like
Yeah.
like the hospital.
Now,
Yeah,
First floor was down, and then second.
Yep.
Everybody always thought you came in on the first.
Yeah.
You came in on the second.
That's a good point.
This giraffe was it CGI?
Yeah. No, it was definitely thanks to you. Yeah, it was 100% real. Which I thought, that makes it even more authentic, and that that's crazy.
When I watched it, I thought it was CGI, and it wasn't until I was like, "Wow, that's a really good one." It wasn't until I watched the making of that I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't find the making of to watch. I tried to when I was laying on the couch today. I was trying to find it.
It just popped up on HBO.
HBO Max.
Yeah.
I just went down a little bit. I didn't Google it. It just popped up on my homepage.
Yeah, I was on my Google and my HBO Max. I couldn't find it anyway.
If you can't find it by tomorrow, you can log into my account and use it.
Yeah. Well, it's probably. I'm sure I can find it online. I was just on the couch and lazy, and I didn't put a lot of effort either. So.
Yeah.
Mood. Big mood. I gotta say though, one thing that pissed me off with the episode, I love what they did in the episode, but it pissed me off where it was.
2.
So it grinds my guts. When
But they
they're
were already
walking,
up
like
one.
after Joel confesses, which I know we're gonna get into, but after Joel confesses a secret, and Ellie starts reading the joke, because that's when they're attacked. That scene takes place so much earlier in the game.
Really?
So that's not how they're attacked in the game. So like that whole scene with like the army whatever nursing area, he kind of talked a little bit about it, but like the whole joke scene, I'm like, wait a minute, you took a summer scene and threw it in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
I get why you did it, but it just pissed me off.
Yeah, and like is content from the game to the show when Ellie goes outside and they're looking over the view of everything, and then Joel comes up behind her, and I think he says, what do you think of that view, or something about that view? That's straight out of the video. That's straight out of the video game as well. Like scene for scene, Ellie already being at the lookout point and Joel coming up behind her. And it's like, and that's like, that to me was like watching the game, when you watch it side by side.
Pie, have you guys not had daylight savings time yet?
Oops.
Oh yeah.
because in the United States we have,
Yeah.
and so now technically it would be 6:20 for us.
Right. But it's 7.
But in Europe, I think you guys are actually end of March.
Hmm.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
were-
see, no, we didn't move clocks yet. No.
That's why. Sorry,
Yeah.
Pi.
I was wondering where Pi was.
Yeah. So she says, "Why are you streaming already?"
I was like, usually Pi's egging us on in the chat before we even stream. Come on, guys! It's 30 seconds past 7:00.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Well, that's okay.
And now you know for next week or in 2 weeks when we come back.
That's
Pi, honest to God, I saw something about, I think it was the UK, how they hadn't had theirs yet, and they had it towards the end of the month or whatever it was. I didn't even think. I apologize sincerely. I didn't even think to warn anybody.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of hard to predict all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's archaic.
Yeah, I think this is the last year we're doing it.
That's what I keep hearing, but I've not seen anything.
Like they were voting.
It's like, yeah, it's like ready to be signed off on or
Let's
whatever.
say, yeah, so it's never been officially
Yeah.
out, so I don't know.
I have so many questions on it. I'm not going to ask it now, but I have so many
What?
questions about that whole thing.
I bet I can answer it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm a history buff. I
We're
get.
talking about The Last of Us, not Daylight Savings Time.
No, it's fine. We got time.
There's not a whole lot of meat to this episode.
Meg,
for
it's
finale.
not often that I could flex my history knowledge.
I'm going to be really dumb with this, so I'm apologizing now.
Okay.
We get rid of Daylight Savings Time.
Yep.
Now, so now normally, we turn the clocks and all of a sudden it's getting dark out at 7 o'clock.
We're going to stay sprung forward. It'll stay as sprung forward.
But then how does that work with nature? How does it just know to get dark at 7
Do you think nature gives a shit about what time we put our clock at?
No, but think about it. in December, when
We're the ones who fucked it up.
No, but no. Let me just get a question. But in the winter, when we go back an hour, it gets darker earlier. So how does I don't understand how
It won't do that.
It won't do that anymore.
It would just
It would be
stay-
normal.
Yeah.
The only reason why it does that,
And the sun shifts anyways. I mean,
Yeah.
if you watch the sun, it shifts on. The Earth or the sun, something shifts, and then the sun ends up going in different ways, and it's just how it works.
yeah,
It's just
we're supposed to, yeah.
I failed science.
The only reason it's even a thing is
Oh.
because during World War II,
Yep.
they needed more time in the day.
Yep.
It's a
Farmers.
little
Farmers
farmers.
needed more time.
There's also a belief that had to do with warehouse workers and stuff like that,
Yeah.
fabrication plants and stuff like that.
Needed more time to harvest their crops, to plant
Plus-
their crops, and do those things.
Yep.
Yeah. Plus,
So,
if the farm, if you had a family,
no, I
like children.
understand that, but now, okay, so right now it is 7:23 on the East Coast where we're all at.
Yes.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
and the sun just went down. We're ignoring the fact that it's raining, but the sunset was at 7 o'clock today.
Correct.
Okay? Now in December,
no sunshine in here.
okay, it's like an hour different. I forgot about that. Okay, but in December, the sun sets at before even the clocks go back.
Like 3:30, 4 o'clock.
Yeah, it goes So then, but
We'll still have light late. We'll have light later. We'll have more daylight. It'll be darker. It'll be dark still in the morning, but you'll have a longer light during the day.
So the reason that
I'm just stupid.
it gets darker
You're not
out
stupid.
later,
It's stupid.
the only
Makes no
reason
sense.
that it gets darker later and earlier, depending on seasons, is because of the way that the Earth is tilted,
Mm-hmm.
and it's whether we're tilted towards the sun or away from
Yeah,
the sun.
during the winter we tilt further away, which
Yes,
is why
correct.
we get colder.
Yes.
So
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and that's why in summer and spring it's warmer because there's more sun, and that's why we have some more sunlight than we do darkness. That
And
makes sense.
hurricane season. Well, you guys don't have that, but I
what is
do.
it called?
She said hurricane season.
Oh, hurricane season.
How many hurricanes are in
I'm just
Jersey?
at the edge of it. I think we're safe. We're kind of at that little.
You're
Mhm.
safe, yeah.
Well, it can come. I mean,
Well, you get coastal flooding. You don't get hurricanes. You just get the flooding in the rain.
Hurricane Sandy, Hurricane Irene.
Yeah, that was flooding.
I had
That
a
was just
hurricane last
rain.
year.
Little wind. You know.
I mean, I lost power for 2 weeks.
All right,
Didn't
fine.
have school
Show
for a
off.
month.
What a show off.
It's not our fault that Jersey's the Wish version of New York.
Yeah, it's true.
We're gonna
It's
have
true. New Jersey's where New York sends all their garbage.
Today I said in the chat, Ryan is banned from the chat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guys,
Sorry.
I'm no Bill Nye, but I have
appreciate
basic
watching
knowledge.
that.
Yeah. There is a reason why Jersey's nickname is the armpit of the United States. So,
See, we can make fun of our own state. You can't.
Oh, we
So
can.
I
We have to drive through that shithole. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
will grab my little step ladder and get on it and kick your ass.
We have to wear a mask just to drive through Jersey.
That's how I feel about New York.
It's like a stenchy. Like some of it smells like seawater. Some of it smells like sewage. Some of it smells like garbage.
Like garbage going up and down every street.
Ugh.
Did you see the comment? She goes, "This is not turning me on, guys." And the pod goes, "But they're talking about wetness, vigorous winds, and big fat tornadoes, Lucy."
I think they just want us to say the one word they love.
It's
to make
still-
us say.
What, moist?
For pie, yeah. For pie,
There it
it's
is.
still like 20 below and dark
But
for
I
the
will
next
say,
6
though,
months.
In a few months, I will be in warm weather year round.
So
No,
pie.
not really, because you get snow up there.
Pie's in Finland, so I actually want to verify this with someone who actually lives in Finland. So Pie,
Thank God we have a Finnish expert here.
I know, thank you. And Pie might not even know, because she's like in the literally like I don't know,
Middle of nowhere.
20 hours from the closest village. But
How do you have internet out there? That's what I want to know.
so I saw some guy on social media. He was walking down a street and he was filming on his phone, and he was showing that all the houses in the neighborhood who had a child, like a baby, had their baby outside in the carriage in the cold weather. Just as long as it's 20 degrees or above. And he said the reason why they do this is because it helps strengthen their immune system. It's like pretty much like their immune systems are superhuman by the time they like grow up, because they've been exposed to these elements. They don't have asthma, don't have anything. So I want to know if Pie's actually seen this in real life in Finland. Because I thought that was pretty, dude, it's wild. Like the guy was like just filming, and you saw rows of baby carriages outside. I mean, the babies are obviously all bundled up and they got the blanket or whatever. But I was like, wow, that's pretty deep. Like that's some thick skin. You got some thick skinned kids out there, Like no wonder.
Pi hasn't typed anything in a while, so I think we're getting a long-winded response.
Yes, that's what you do with babies. My mom did that. Okay. I was wrapped up well. My baby carriage had, all right, fur lining. And okay.
Interesting.
All right. So there it is. There's our answer. So it wasn't just some idiot on social media.
I think it's cool to learn cultural differences like that.
Absolutely.
Like, it's the number one reason why we proclaim to be what we are. We're the best. But then when you look at what other countries actually do, when you look at their education levels and you look at everything else, we don't look so hot no more.
No.
Because
Especially having questions about daylight savings time.
yeah. But anyway, so now that we went on our little
Off track.
side note.
Let's go back.
Yeah, Joel and Ellie are smoke bombed or tear gassed or I don't know what that was. Stun blast, flash grenade. Yeah. Joel's gotten beat up pretty good. I mean, the guy cracks him in the back of the head with the butt of the gun, which, detached retina much, or concussion, everything else. But he wakes up and you could tell like his first instinct is protection, because what's the first thing he says? Where's Ellie?
Mm-hmm. He's in dad mode.
Yeah, 100%. He's in I don't want to lose what I got ever again mode. Like, I second chance at fatherhood, second chance at life. We do find out in the beginning of the show that scar on his neck was from a suicide attempt, which I know has been some talks. We had talked about the fact that maybe it happened the night that Sarah got shot. But he admits to Ellie that the miss was him. He said, I'm the miss. I missed. And
He hints at it in the game, but he never officially admits it. So
Right.
it's nice to get some clarification.
Yeah. I didn't know about that in the game, but I like the clarification just because it was something that we always kind of talked about. So we got that little glimpse into his life on. I think he said it was the day after Sarah died. He tried doing it. I think the very next day.
Yeah, because remember she died on his birthday.
Yeah, so it was the very next day. He said he tried doing it, and that's hey, that's some deep shit.
That's dark.
And I mean, he's sitting there and he's talking to what's her name again?
Marlene.
Marlene, yeah.
I keep
And
on wanting to say Merle because that's her name in real life.
yeah, it is Merle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking to I was talking to one of my friends about the finale, and I was like, he was talking about how all like the characters have like cameos somewhere in the game. He's like, Tommy, Joel, da, da, da. I'm like, Merle. He's like, who's Merle? I'm like, wait, Marlene. My bad.
Merle, Marlene. So we find out that the plan is that Ellie is with the doctors, and that they're going to start the, I guess you want to call it, cure process. But you put two and two together like Joel did, and you find out that the cordyceps infect the brain. The brain is where the location, of basically where they'll be. So he starts putting everything together, and is like, they're gonna kill her. You guys are gonna basically kill her. So Marlene says, it's a promise that she's held since day one to her mother, which we really didn't get to talk much about the opening of the show. So we'll do that, as well. We can jump into that as well, because the very beginning, the woman who was Anne was actually the voice. Anna was actually the voice of Ellie in the video game, which is like super cool.
Especially because we talked about it, right? I mean, it looked like an aged up Bella Ramsey. She did, like
she really did.
I thought it was her for a second.
She not only voiced her, but she also gave her a lot of the personality.
Right.
They, Druckmann had talked about how like she was Ellie. She made Ellie into who she is.
Yep.
And so I thought that was very cool to see her, give birth to Ellie. Then,
Yeah.
It was very full circle.
Yeah, exactly.
And sorry.
No, go ahead.
Meg, I think you said that she even said that Bella Ramsey is Ellie, right?
At the premiere, actually was interviewed. It's like, she is Ellie. She has the mannerisms. Like, she looks like Ellie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And I think,
granted, not perfectly like Ellie, because nobody.
Right.
That's a video game character, but Bella and Ashley could be related.
And I think to Chris's point, her giving birth to Ellie is kind of like this, like really poetic, like stamp of approval, saying like this is her. You know what I mean?
So and she's bit on the leg. She uses the same knife that she stabbed the infected with in the head to cut the umbilical cord. So like, I don't know if that gives us any kind of like insight to why she might be, not affected by it, immune.
She got bit and it went through.
Right.
Before she even cut it off, and it went through the umbilical cord into her before she can cut it off.
Right.
Despite the fact that she was insistent upon the fact that she cut the umbilical cord before the bite, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But I think she knew
that
Ellie would have been killed immediately.
Sure. Yeah.
No,
100%.
Lied to her.
Yeah, that's why she told her.
About that birth for crying out loud.
Oh,
Yeah, it was.
I was like,
Oh
what
my
the heck?
I was like, holy shit.
It's like a cough and kids born.
That's not how that happened.
People have give birth in a toilet. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's the thing. Like, she looked down and like, there's the baby. Like, that's how. Like, she struggled. She sat there, fought the thing, killing it, and then looks down and the baby's out. So I'm like,
I read somebody had tweeted, or I don't know where I read it about her midwife. The undead, or the whatever it was. Her midwife.
a runner.
Oh my gosh.
yeah, yeah,
That whole scene, from the moment Anna saw she was bit, from the moment she died, I was a basket case. And I think, granted, it was super emotional.
and there's nothing like that in the game, right, Meg?
But we don't see the birth in the
Okay, all right.
This is all new. And I think the reason I was super emotional is you guys know that, my mom passed away 2 years ago.
Right.
So I think realizing, this mother is getting I'm getting emotional now talking about it. This mother's time is suddenly cut short with her child.
Mhm.
And you just realize you want to do all these things. I'm literally crying right now.
Yeah. I know.
And it's just so emotional. I'm just like, kill me. You'll give her the life that she deserves. I'm not going to get to do this.
Yeah.
It's so fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, and, you know, she hands over the same knife that, you know, that Ellie ends up growing up with. So yeah, I mean, the beginning was pretty, you know, like I said, there wasn't a lot of you know, they didn't give you a lot because they wrapped this season, but what they did give you in the beginning, and it not being a part of the game and stuff like that, the way that they're able to add storyline and everything, I think has been an outstanding job by the whole team. Like being able to give a character who only had like a glimpse in the show in the game a full backstory. You know,
Like a lot of depth.
like Bill and Frank. You know, giving them a whole episode and developing those characters. So you know, I thought that they, you know, as a whole, they've been doing a great job. Fast forward to where we just were. They go to escort Joel out of the hospital, and that doesn't go as planned. Obviously, we all knew. You know, Joel wasn't leaving without Ellie. I mean, even if you didn't watch the video game or played a video game, you had to know that he wasn't just leaving, you know, and leaving her there.
Yeah. Like, what did they expect? Oh, yeah, okay, no worries.
All right, see you guys.
All right, have a good life.
Yeah. I do want to know kind of like, I guess, I don't want to say it grinded my guts, but he's in a staircase. Gunshots are going to echo. You hear somebody yell in the background, shots fired. So why wasn't there more of a response? It was very individualized one-on-one contacts. You know, why didn't they, wouldn't you normally like team up? Like, wouldn't you gather?
The way that I took it personally was that the Fireflies are more spread out than they try to portray. They're trying to portray
So
strength in numbers.
thinner than they are?
And I think they're a lot more spread out than what they make. But if you make it seem like your numbers are greater than they are,
Mm-hmm.
then you pose more of a threat.
Yeah.
And less likely that Fedra's going to come after you.
Now in the game, are they a pretty thick group as far as members go?
Yeah, because I mean, think about it. You know, in the show, you can only cast so many people. But in the game, they're all NPCs, non-playable characters.
Right.
So they just generate more and more.
Right.
And also, like in the show, and in the game too, the hospital's at so many levels. So you have to have coverage for all those levels.
Mhm.
Whether, you know, Joel goes out the south stairs or he jumps out the east balcony. You know, you have to have coverage.
Right.
Seeing him go like all Rambo-like, it worked out because, you know, there's scenes there's a certain part in the game where like you're going to the hospital, you can either keep going down the hallway or you can jet off into a room and go around. If you jet off into the room, boom, there's going to be a guy there. You go down the hallway, there's going to be a guy there. So you have to have coverage all around.
Yeah. Yeah, I just thought like maybe, well, I guess, yeah, it's more of like the appearance that they have more than what they do.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I did like the game-like gameplay of the action
I
where,
love that.
yeah, like, so he ends up using the first rifle, kills as many people as he can, kills the one guy, picks up his rifle.
Mhm.
You know, he's constantly like going through that progression of dead weapon, dead weapon, dead weapon, you know, and
Definitely very video game-ish.
yeah.
Bullets are runs in the game. You really have to be careful with how much ammo you use because
Right.
you only have so many bricks. You only have, which I'm still pissed off we didn't get to you. You only have so many bullets. You only have so many. If you make a shiv, you can only use your shiv maybe 3 times before it breaks. You have to make a new one.
Right.
So you don't really have a knife in the game. So I loved how they showed the weapons constantly being of no use anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, the scavenging, I guess you could call it scavenging, but the way that instead of just having the one weapon and unlimited magazines to go through, you know, he only took the one extra magazine for the one gun and then everything else was just fire until empty. And then he grabs the pistol at the final guy that he killed. And that's where we find Ellie. You know, he sees the pediatric sign for the surgery or whatever, and then we find Ellie on the table. She's already been knocked out. They're ready to start the procedure. And
Just in the nick of time.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty close to the game too. I mean, right?
Mhm.
Killing the doctor. Now, you want to talk about the what What happened?
I almost said something.
Oh,
That
okay.
would have been a spoiler for the second game in season 2.
I want to say something, Chris, before you go into this part. You were talking about, like when they went to Joel and explained to him where Ellie was in surgery and that this was going to happen. Then he realizes this, and you said, "What did they think that he was just going to go off?" But the Joel pre-Ellie would have,
Right, yeah,
because she was cargo,
Cargo,
and that's
correct.
what he did. And so that's the Joel that they knew.
Well,
they knew this guy before he.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So they could have very well thought that he was just going to go off.
And I think Marlene like hinted to that. She's like, didn't she say something in the garage about you changing or him changing and not being the same person he used to be or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I just want to point that out. That to them, they very well thought he might just walk off quietly and go on to his next whatever he's supposed to do.
It's a good point. No, that's a good point. It's very true. Yeah,
I didn't even think about that, but that's a completely valid point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
he's a very different person.
he'd get paid for whatever job, for whatever it was, and then he would just on to the next one.
Especially because in the beginning of the episode, they kind of show like the recap of everything that's happened, and he either that one line he says to her, he goes, "Your cargo."
Mm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
and like now he goes from your cargo to
baby girl.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it makes sense.
Okay, back to we're in surgery.
Well, yeah. So Joel kills the doctor, tells the nurses to unplug her, unhook her, whatever.
Speaking of nurses, Meg.
Sorry, I was trying to find a specific code that I'm going to talk about in a little bit.
Okay. Go ahead. You
Oh
get.
my god! So it took me until the second watch through to realize one of the nurses. The first time I saw it, I was like, "Oh, she looks familiar." Second time, realized one of the nurses is played by Laura Bailey. Now, Laura Bailey is a very talented video game voiceover artist, motion capture. She has been in the game Uncharted 4. She played Nadine. And in The Last of Us Part 2, she plays a very pivotal role. I'm not going to say what the role is for any spoilers. But it plays her being in that particular scene with the people in that room versus who she plays in the game. Very great comparison. I will not say anything to spoil anything. But it was fantastic, and I was so happy to see her in that scene because they want to use her in season 2 somehow, which I'm super excited.
Well, I heard that she begged them, please give me a part. I want to do something, and so
I mean, it worked out because since she wore a mask, she could not be anyone.
Yeah, exactly.
It was fantastic. I loved seeing that. I think that was like one of my favorite parts of the episode. So I was like, wait a minute, I know her.
Yeah, so then, like you said, that's a very cool moment because we do get a chance to see her again in season 2. So Joel kills Marlene and then takes the car and hits the road.
You know what? One thing that I want to point out is that in that situation where Joel killed her after he'd already shot her and she was like on the ground, like kind of in a prone position, she had said, please spare me or whatever she said. I'm just saying that he's only doing what she ordered the other Firefly soldiers to do to him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's not innocent by any means. One, she was willing to kill Ellie, but two, when he first woke up and she realized that he was not just going to walk off into the sunset, she flat out said, "Kill him."
Yeah, yeah,
and he was okay with it.
Right. She said, "Yeah." She pretty much said to
but
shoot.
If you think about it, she actually, she kind of teased her own murder way back in episode 1. Because when they kind of reunite, that was the thing I was looking for before.
Mm-hmm.
When she asks Joel and Tess to take Ellie, Marlene says, "What I do have is you, and I know what you're capable of, for better or worse."
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So it was kind of a little bit. It kind of like sets up like Joel's like nature of willing to do whatever it takes for whatever he wants.
Right.
And she was an example of it at the end.
I did not put that together.
No, me neither. Yeah, it's good stuff. So the elephant in the room is what Joel says to Ellie when she wakes up and comes to, and they're walking. I believe like they're obviously heading back towards Tommy. I would imagine that's where they're going. They see the town down in the valley. Yeah. So what do we think about, like, what's everybody's gut feeling? Because Ellie looks at him and says, "Swear to me that you told me the truth about the Fireflies."
Again, from a predictable standpoint, that's going to bite him in the ass in the second game or second season.
Okay.
I think Ellie's going to find out the truth, obviously.
All right.
I think she already knows.
I think she suspects.
Yeah, I think she's pretty well aware of.
I actually think that she may have been starting to come to, and maybe overheard the gunshot or overheard some of the conversation that was going on between Marlene and Joel. That was my first thought, because she was asking very pointed questions. She asked, like, well, first, what happened, which is a very generalized question. Then she asked, is Marlene okay? And then she flat out asked him, are you telling me the truth about everything that happened with the Fireflies? And he was like, yes. It was just very, very specific, pointed, direct questions.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, I mean, like Chris and I have both done this with our jobs, but we, like, with investigations, you kind of ask open-ended questions, but then as you get further into the inquiry, into the investigation, you start to really ask direct questions. So that way, when the person says, no, I didn't know, no this, no that, well, actually,
Yeah.
we know you're lying. You know what I mean? And I think that's almost how I took it. Like, she was interrogating him almost.
Yeah. Like you ask the questions you already know the answer to.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Yeah.
Without tipping
I'm
her
not gonna
hand.
tell you who's right or wrong,
Yeah.
but I will say Ellie has massive survivor skills.
Yep.
Because this whole time she was been told, "You're the cure. You're the cure. You're the cure." So now that Joel took away that option, and because he doesn't want to lose the closest thing he has to his daughter, her life's mission or life's purpose is ruined. So it's like, what do I have to live for now? And Joel took that away.
I think.
So
Yeah. I think my biggest issue is that instead of saying they have more children like you, there's more people who are, not, that are immune, just like you and all this stuff. I think, honestly, I would have just said they were going to kill you. And
she would have been fine with that.
Yep.
I don't know.
And the saying, when you're when you're lying, don't overcomplicate the lie.
Just be as simple as possible.
I really feel like he overcomplicated it by saying that, and it was twofold. One, if she assumes that he's telling the truth, he now made her feel less special.
Yeah.
Which is a shitty thing for a father to do, like adopted or not. But
well, he hasn't been a father in 20 years. He got a little rusty.
no, I trust me, I get it. But it was just, well, one, he says that and says, you're not special. Like, there's dozens of you. Two, he compares her to Sarah the entire time.
I think he would have liked her.
But then he was like, oh, she had a sense of humor. Not to say that you don't.
That was rough.
What?
He's just trying to connect with her. He doesn't know how. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, absolutely. But I think from like an outside perspective, it's like almost like he's shitting on her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get it. But he's just learning how to interact with this 14-year-old girl. He has no idea how to do it. He has been, fighting. He's been, killing people. He's been doing all these things, and now he's got to try to figure out how to do this. It's like he's, a brand new dad with a 14-year-old. He doesn't have a chance to raise it from an infant and grow into it.
Yeah.
And I don't. I mean, I get what you're saying, but and I do. Yeah, I'm sure it'll come back and. Like you said, it's going to come back and bite him in the second game. Because it most likely will. There were a lot of people that were, he should have done that, this and that, whatever. And as a parent, I think most parents would have said, you're not going to let they went right to killing her. They didn't try anything else. They were going to, do. I mean.
No blood samples, nothing.
Yeah, blood samples, or I don't know. There's, they didn't try anything else.
Try doing like an infusion from someone who's infected.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah. Or even give Ellie the opportunity to decide if she wanted to die for this.
Because I bet she would have made the decision to do it.
Exactly, but let her make that decision. Yep. That's her. Because didn't they tell her that earlier somewhere? I forget what it was, but I read that somewhere like earlier in the season they said that to her, that she could have something about her making a choice or something like that, you know,
Mhm.
and then they take it away from her at the end, you know, and just jump right in and kill her without even trying anything else, you know. It just doesn't make sense, especially when there's only a chance. There was no, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. No one knows what they're doing with these cordyceps, you know. And so I just thought it was, you know, I would have done the same thing. I would have, well, I couldn't have
Well,
done.
also, Joel gave her the chance to back out with the scene with the giraffe. And she
Yeah.
basically says, no, like, we're going to go through with this.
Yeah.
But they didn't know they were going to kill her.
Yeah, no, but I think they may have been figuring it out at that point.
Well, no, because he was surprised. Well, no, he didn't figure it out.
Yeah,
So
true.
when he said that, then he was like, wait, that's in the brain. And that's when he figured out they were going to kill her.
Yeah, true.
And so, yeah. I mean, they should have explained to her, okay, this is what has to happen, you know, and this is what's going to happen. And give her, and I'm sure she would have, because she's Ellie, and she would have been like, all right, go ahead. But
Go for the greater good.
Yeah, give her that opportunity to decide.
Right.
I mean,
I will say, though, go ahead.
I was going to say Ellie's smart, so I think that all along she knew that this was a possibility.
Well, we kind of talked about it, like, in the pre-show. We were saying that, you know, this whole time, like, Marlene purposely said, okay, well, the doctor thinks he could do this. Think. That's the key word.
Yeah.
The Fireflies are so desperate for any chance of a cure, for a vaccine. They are grasping at straws. So they're willing to kill a 14-year-old that may hold the cure. And if they didn't hold the cure, it was just another body.
Yeah.
They didn't care. They had no attachment.
And that's
like Joel, who sees all that she could be.
Right. And I mean, if you did have several children in her situation, but being immune, you know, does it make a difference if you're killing them or not then? You know?
It kind of reminded me of Stranger Things, how in season 4, how they had like all like, you know, they had 1, 2, 3, 4, blah, 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 and they were testing them with different abilities.
Right.
Like when Joel's lie was saying like, oh, there's multiple, that's kind of the vibe it gave off.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
I will say though, I know I keep saying season 2, part 2, so I'm kind of being like a broken record here, which I will repeat this when we get into season 2 in like whatever 2025. The hospital shootout and Joel's lies play a key factor in the beginning of part 2 and the entire storyline of part 2.
Okay.
Wait.
But okay, so there is that, but there's also, so they are, you know, they are doing a season 2. They're doing part 2 that's going to go across more than one season.
Yes.
And they said to expect it's not going to be exactly like the game.
Exactly.
They're going to do a lot of differences. And the infected, there's going to be more of them, and there's going to be different. There's going to be more and different ones.
Okay, good.
Whatever that means, yeah.
Well, the part that I was saying is just the baseline. Like it, of course.
Yeah. But I mean,
the
they're just letting everyone know that it is going to be different because, you know, everybody, the gamers do not like what, but I get what you're saying, like the main, or whatever.
But there needs to be more infected because in the game you deal with more infected than that you bad guys. Like, you have shootouts, but you also have shootouts and infected in the same scene. So it's like,
I'm sure they're going to have a much bigger budget this time around with the success of the first season.
Bless you.
Oh, probably.
Especially with like, you know, Pedro.
Bless you. One more, you're walking home. Stop. We got to walk home.
It's especially with Pedro.
I think I'm ready in my house then.
Pedro becoming like this huge internet sensation, becoming like the #1 celebrity in the world. Like this show, the ratings, everything, the popularity.
Yeah,
it's. I can imagine that their budget will increase substantially for them to do more. Obviously, they have to bring on more characters. You know, we'll have Ellie's girlfriend in the second one. Plus, we'll have the addition of Abby, and the second season is gonna be broken up into many different storylines. You know, because in the game you play as Ellie, and you play as Abby. You know, and you have all these different branches of the characters. So I have to imagine that the storyline, you know, is going to get a big push with budget.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, we saw it with shows like Game of Thrones. I mean, their budget exploded after season 1 because of how popular it became. By their final season, they were spending millions of dollars per episode, which is insane to think about. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, look at, I said before, Stranger Things. What was it? Each episode was like $30 million to make.
Insane.
Like, it was insane.
Yeah.
But with season 2, I know they kind of talked about possibly 2025 for it to come out. I heard that they're already writing the scripts for the second game or the second season, and there's a rumor they might start filming towards the end of this year.
They're gonna film in Canada again. Do we know, or
probably if it's cheaper to film out there? Plus, you already have the Wyoming set or the Jackson set, I should say.
Right.
Because remember in the part 1 of the game, we didn't get to see inside of Jackson.
Right. That's not until part 2.
Part 2.
Yeah.
So the fact that we already got to explore it just makes sense to keep up there.
Sure. Okay.
Because in the part 2, the game starts in winter, so it would make sense if they start filming,
right?
Around Christmas time this year.
So we're thinking it'll be back in 25 then.
Probably.
2025.
I'm gonna say spring 25. That's just my guess.
Yeah, that would make sense, I guess. I mean, we're ending right when spring's starting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess that would make sense. I wonder what the time jump's going to be. I wonder, you know what I mean? I know
are they going to stick to the true time jump?
Yeah.
It would match Bella's age in real life.
Right.
True, it would pretty much catch her up, right?
Well, because she'll be 20 in real life. She'll be 20 or 21 or something like that. I think she's 19 now, so she'll be 21.
Ellie starts at 19.
Okay, so yeah.
So it's a 5-year jump or 5-ish year jump.
Yeah.
In the beginning of part 2, but then there's also part 2 takes place over a couple of years.
Gotcha.
Okay.
That's why it cannot be one season.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if they're going to show her. I mean, it's not. I don't know. Is it spoiler if I say this? I wonder if they're going to show her tattoo that she gets.
Oh, they have to.
Right.
They have to, because it plays such a the costumes plays such a crucial role. They have to.
Yeah. So I mean, just so in the game, Ellie gets a tattoo that covers her scar where she's bitten, so that people don't see it and react to it or anything like that. So she actually gets it tattooed over, so you can't see it anymore.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's such a cool tattoo.
Yeah. So that's little. Here's a little. That's a little, tidbit for you guys to nibble on for a little while there. Figure
for the
out
next 2 years.
Yeah, exactly. How does she get a tattoo in this type of world? You know what I mean? So we'll hopefully get. Yeah, of course. I mean, look, they do it in prison right now. So I mean, I'm sure there's a way to do it. I'm sure there's a way to do it in the apocalypse.
Oh wow, that's an intense tattoo, huh?
Yeah.
I thought about getting it actually.
It's pretty sweet. That's a pretty sweet tattoo.
Because as soon as it comes out, everyone's going to want that tattoo.
Sure,
So
exactly.
many people have gotten it over the past 9 weeks. It's insane.
I'm sure.
Yeah, it's what's that?
That's
like a
her aged
cosplay?
up.
Yeah.
No, that's
Oh, that's her
it's
aged
like
up.
a digital thing from the show
Oh,
or
okay.
from the game. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, and aging up Bella Ramsey shouldn't be that hard. She have to grow her hair out a little bit more, right? But I know she keeps her
No,
hair.
her hair is about
It's
I think
up in the
shorter
game,
than
right?
mine.
Yeah, she keeps her hair up in the game. I think she has something on the
No, her
sides.
hair's in part 2. Her hair's a little shorter than mine, and she does the half up, half down. So it's like this.
Okay. Oh, okay. So they're not going by the cut your hair short so you don't get grabbed and pulled.
No,
Kind of.
they just take the shorter route.
Yeah.
But it's funny because in the game part 2, Dina, who was
She has real short hair.
no,
No?
Dina has long hair.
Does she? Maybe I've always maybe I thought she has it in a ponytail then because.
Has short hair.
Oh, okay. All right.
excuse me.
What are you gonna do?
I think you. No, I can't say anything. Nope, can't say it.
Yeah, I'm okay.
You sure?
Do you know how much this is killing me that I can't say so much stuff? I hope you realize that.
That's okay. You're
For
gonna
the
have to.
past 9 weeks, it has been torture.
You're gonna have to bite your tongue for another 2 years. So yeah, I mean, all in all, I'm gonna say that the finale for me was probably a 7. I'm gonna say it was a 7 for me.
I
I
just
just wish it had just a little bit more substance to it. It was kind of, it just didn't give you a whole lot up until the very end, and even then, it's like,
I feel like an extra 10 minutes would have done justice because
yeah, what is 40 minute? Was it like 40 minutes?
43 minutes.
43 minutes?
The part with Ashley Johnson was like 10 to 15 minutes on its own.
Jesus.
So an extra 10 minutes would have done so much good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 6. I think that's being polite.
Yeah. Yeah.
For you, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you first started talking to us, you were very negative.
Oh no! If I had just watched it the one time,
Yeah.
it would have been like a 3 or 4, guaranteed.
Yeah. What about you guys? Sorry, did I
I
cut you
say
off?
7.
No, you're good.
7?
I'll give it an 8.
All right, I was gonna say Renee was really into it. She loved it. So
No, I love the action sequences. I just hate that there's so much was omitted. Plus the how it felt rushed yet really well done. So it's like I'm very confused.
Mhm.
And I think it's good, like for people like me that, non-gamer, we don't know what we missed, so it felt
Yeah.
right, so
I feel like one day I just want to like
Yeah.
sit with you and be like, okay, this is what happened. You're lucky you're not rooming with me at the camp, so otherwise I'd be like, all right,
all right,
we're
here we
tied.
go.
yeah. See, you and I
On
can
the other hand,
sidebar because at least I've seen the game. So
Yeah,
Chris can join on the conversation.
Yeah.
Ryan and Renee,
we don't know. We're just happy.
wow.
I'm keeping you guys in the dark.
I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah.
Aww.
Unless I show you the gaming stream that I watch, and then you can do the same thing.
True. I'm sure I'm very fluent in Twitch. I could probably find
Yeah, it's
some
Yeah.
gameplay,
Everywhere.
especially right now.
I thought about streaming it, but I'm not that like running and gunning type of gamer. Like I'll go very stealth, and also I get scared at certain parts. So I was like, I'm not gonna do that.
yeah. No, the guy that I watch, I like because he's low key.
What's his name?
I'll pull it up.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to let me know.
But he's low key. He's in India, and like he plays the game like he's played the game on every difficulty. From beginner to the hardest one. He's done like
Respect.
yeah. I mean, but he's really good. Like he's not like one of these players who gets like yells into the mic and gets all like he's very like low key and stuff. So
We love Loki.
yeah. But good, he's a damn good gamer. Give him that much. But
Yeah,
yeah,
you can do grounded while streaming. Yeah.
Yeah.
props.
yeah,
Mm.
pretty good. So yeah, I mean, look, we don't have. I don't know. There's nothing really coming out. I know that I just saw a trailer coming out for. Do you guys remember? Oh shit! What was the name of the Viking show? The Last Kingdom. The Last
I got
Kingdom.
excited for a second.
The Last Kingdom is now coming out with I think it's the Death of the Seven Kings or something like that.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Is that Netflix?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Netflix.
Netflix.
Yeah, it stars I forget his name, but in the show his name is Uhtred, and everybody has a hard on for Uhtred. So because he's a Viking, long haired.
Viking, that's all you gotta say.
Yeah, he's a Viking with long hair and a big sword.
Enough said.
So,
He likes big swords and he cannot lie.
but yeah, I did see that that's coming out. I'm not sure when, but I think soon. No, that's not coming out anytime soon.
I'm just making sure.
Yeah.
Some clarification,
No,
that's all.
but that looked really cool because I love the actual series. That was amazing. Linda just popped in. Jeez, Linda, tardy to the party. Oh, she's on the same.
Oh,
Wow, we goofed.
Oh, we fucked up.
Yeah, we goofed. We're gonna, let's hope this doesn't happen next year, so we don't have to remember to change anybody's timelines.
Yeah.
Oh, it figures the Finnish person would be upset by how he pronounces.
Uhtred. I say the name and I get a moan from the couch.
I like how we have the linguist over
Yeah.
there fucking
Yeah,
giving her
Uhtred.
feedback.
Lord Uhtred.
You guys, you'll be proud of me. I'm finally starting Poker Face this week now that Last of Us is done.
Has anybody really watched it?
I
I haven't watched it yet.
watched the one episode that you were in.
Oh, nice.
And
My boss has been telling me to get into it. So I was like, all right,
Yeah. By the way, if you guys want to get a quick glimpse of me in the Peacock series,
muscles.
the Peacock series, Poker Face, I'm in I'm at episode 4.
Yep.
And
also, if you watch,
it's quick. It's my I don't know.
Your side profile.
My 7 seconds of fame, I guess. My arms got more recognition than anything.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
With you bagging.
Bagging the thing, you just see like my arms come down, and
yep.
Everyone's like, "Dude," I'm like, "Come on,
yep.
What about
Take a
me?
screenshot
What about
and
me?
autograph it.
You know?"
Right.
Yeah, I should. Yeah, autograph my arms, Chris's arms. You know what? I think for the camp, I'm just gonna make a couple of goof ones, and then autograph it. You know, to whoever.
should.
Love Chris's arms.
And the
No,
cool thing,
Chris, and then it quotes arms.
Yeah, right. Arms.
my cool grab is that the end Poker Face episode 9, at the end of episode 9, and the beginning of episode 10, the hospital they film at, Denver General,
Denver.
is actually my job, the hospital that I work at in Poughkeepsie, New York,
Mhm.
and they actually film there. So
I
Yeah.
watched that today. I showed her. I was like, that's where my friend works.
yeah, that's pretty cool because like, it's in an old part of the hospital where they filmed it because obviously they couldn't film it like on an actual patient floor. But thankfully, 2 years ago we opened up a new building essentially that's connected to the old building. And when Peacock was there, the local people knew that from Peacock knew that like this hospital was basically unused or part of it was unused. So they reached out to our PR community guy and they were like, "Hey, can we film there?" They're like, "Absolutely." And so it's pretty cool seeing. I actually, because I work security, I got to look on the cameras and see them filming. It was pretty cool.
I recently, actually, I think it was Friday and Saturday, and possibly Sunday because of the rain. What about that?
Chris's side profile.
That's me.
There we go.
That's me.
The Rick and Michonne show was filming at my local mall.
That's cool.
I
Oh yeah, I saw that post. Yeah.
Photos, but by the time I got there, it was dark out and it was raining, so I couldn't get a photo. My friends did. It was really cool though.
Oh, yeah.
That was really cool.
I'll show you my full like 10 seconds. So that's her. That's oh shit.
The chick from Orange is the New Black.
Yep, there they are.
There's Chris.
There's the arms.
There's his legs.
There's the arms and the legs. And there I am walking down the stairs holding my speaker, my amplifier that blew
Do I have
up.
to pay you for those 7 seconds, or can I just leave them? Like,
Actually, to tell you the truth, if you want to know something, I filming that day, we filmed for one, I want to say like 8-hour day that I was there for. I only worked for about 10 minutes and I made like $300. So
Nice.
yeah, I wasn't upset about it. They fed us. I got a steak and rice dinner. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. I mean, they took really good care of us.
Where did they film it?
That was at the Town Crier in Beacon,
Oh, okay. Yep. Okay.
right on Main Street, Beacon.
I always knew it looked familiar. I just didn't know how it. Like I didn't know where it was
Yeah.
familiar from.
I have to check the credits and see if I'm in there.
Yeah.
Because I did have a name tag. I was a cop. I forgot the name.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
That's
think
cool.
we
You
were.
probably will get credited because I got credited for a movie because my picture was on a missing poster and my name was on it. So you will most likely get credit for
That's
that,
cool.
even if you didn't have a character. You might just be as like guard.
Sir, guard or something.
Unknown guard.
Yeah, Pi
Unknown
said-
cop.
Pi says maybe you'll end up in Wiki Feet. Wiki Feet. Yeah, no,
Did you see up above? She said, "Chris only lasts 7 seconds, but they're wonderful seconds."
very nice.
One of the cool
I'm
things.
actually on IMDb looking up to see if Chris is on it.
That's funny. One of the cool things
doubt it.
was Mark Ruffalo filmed a show. I think it was for HBO, maybe, where he played himself and his twin brother or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And so there's a scene. It's all about this casino that's being built. And if you go back and watch the episode where he shows up in front of a construction gate in front of the casino,
Mm-hmm.
that was actually the hospital that I currently work in that they were building.
Yeah.
And so when he confronts his cousin or whoever this guy, he confronts somebody. You see this guy sitting at a table and he's got blueprints and stuff like that. And what's cool about it is he's sitting in what is now one of the nursing break rooms on one of the floors. And you can see it. It's like wide open. It's pretty freaking cool. I like when they do the big pan, you can actually see the Hudson River like in the background and stuff. It was pretty cool. And I got to see Mark Ruffalo because he was walking down one of the streets, like the main street, Livingston Street that goes under the hospital. So he was walking there with one of the film crews. And so I happened to see him, and I was like, "Hey, Mark," and he was like, "Hey," and he just kept walking. It's pretty cool, you know. He's a nice guy, you know.
Unfortunately, the only thing I remember about them filming in this area was the absolute fire catastrophe that they had while filming.
Oh yeah, with the classic cars, right?
Stuff like they burnt down like a whole thing caught fire. It was like
a
a whole
garage full of
garage.
classic cars.
Yeah, like if
Yeah.
you can look it up. Yeah,
Yeah.
like during the filming of that show that they did.
And these were classic cars they were renting too.
Yeah.
So it was like,
Yeah, that was a pretty penny.
yeah.
Prince, it was episode 4.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, you're not in it.
Yeah, that's okay. You know.
Sorry.
Oh well. What are you gonna do? I forgot. Like I said, I even forgot the name of the cop I played.
Actually, probably so in that show that Mark Ruffalo played himself and his like twin brother, whatever. It was actually done very well. It was actually I don't remember the name of the show.
Yeah, I mean,
but it was actually pretty solid.
I just remember the hearing on the news that Mark Ruffalo's production caught some shit on fire, and it was like, oh,
yeah.
And they showed. I mean, it was on fire.
One thing I will say is that if you guys know the show Pretty Little Liars,
yeah.
So Pretty Little Liars has the spinoff show, right? Apparently, they're filming in our area, like in our town.
Really?
Yeah. So I actually thought about like looking up the casting company and like trying to look into be an extra.
There's
one of my best friends applied to be a walker for Walking Dead because they were doing the test on Friday. She didn't get the call back for the test though.
Oh damn, that sucks.
Yeah.
She was gonna try to do it for what is it? What's the show? Dead City? Is that
Dead
what it's
City.
called?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she tried for that. Didn't work out. So now she's trying to get on Summit.
Okay.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
We might get so WonderCon is not this weekend but next weekend, and so Fear and Dead City have panels, so we're hopefully going to get full-size we should get full trailers for both of those, I would think, that weekend.
Oh, that's cool.
It would make sense. WonderCon's big.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that's what they're saving the trailers for. So, because we haven't seen we've seen teasers for both of them. The two, I think each one said 2 teasers, but no full trailers. So,
speaking of cons, over the weekend I got to go to a horror convention by my house. They had a whole like SOA, like Sons of Anarchy reunion, Jawbreaker reunion, and I got to meet my favorite character from season 4 of Stranger Things, Eduardo Franco, who played Argyle, the total stoner.
Yeah.
And I had him sign my pizza box.
oh, that's awesome.
Oh my god, I had him write hold on to your butt, brochacho. And it was awesome. So I'm gonna put it like a big shadow box. I tried to get an pineapple flavor, but they didn't have it. So I went to Walmart and I got like the pepperoni flavored, and then to fill the box, I cut squares of cardboard to give it some pep, so he didn't break it. I'm gonna put it in the frames. It looks really cool.
That's so cool.
That's awesome.
He was so cool, so chill.
That is very cool.
Totally stoned, but it was cool.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Lucy, I have no idea what SilCon is.
Is that over here? Probably not, right?
Right.
I never heard of it. Yeah. Pie says my sister was an extra in a movie once. They made her do all sorts of stunts. She ended up bruised and sunburned and bitten by various insects, and then wasn't even mentioned in the credits.
Oh God.
Oh, that's terrible.
Lindy just chimed in. I saw the teaser for Fear. To be honest, I was so disappointed by the last season. I don't know. Linda, you're not alone. You're not alone.
Well, they're going to have a 7-year time jump at some point. They made it at first because they're released in 2 parts. They made it sound like the 7-year time jump was going to be in the second part, but now I feel like it's going to be maybe earlier. But they've been very weird about, they haven't announced when.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so it'll be interesting. I mean, they're going to be a Padre. I mean, that's going to be
the end game.
That's going to be the
big battle,
whatever. So I don't know.
Yeah,
the entire season of Fear, I'm just gonna sit here and drink and let you guys discuss.
I'm gonna get the Cliff Note version. I'm gonna get the Cliff Note version of that.
I'll give you guys the Cliff Notes of it.
That's it. Yeah,
Perfect.
Just give us the breakdown like you do every week, and
So I need to watch it because Madison's back, and that's the only reason I'm still old enough.
Yeah, see, I've never been a Madison fan anyway.
I've always been a Madison fan.
I liked her better in Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah.
I've never watched Sons of Anarchy.
Mm.
Yeah, it's good. You should watch it.
Colette.
Encourage it.
It's really
Certain
good.
shows are
Yeah.
just not my cup of tea.
No, believe me, it could be your cup of tea if you watched it.
I didn't, it's one of those things where I didn't think I'd like it, and I started watching it, and I loved it.
Yeah.
So
I tried Breaking Bad. I've tried so many of these other really
No,
popular
Breaking
shows.
Bad is not. It's nothing like Breaking Bad.
Okay, because I gave up on.
You didn't like Breaking Bad though?
It was the episode where he was tied in the basement in season 1, around with the pole.
Yeah.
That was when I gave up.
Really?
After
That's
2 or 3.
Well, you only gave it a couple episodes. You gotta,
I did.
give it up until like the second season.
Oh, that's a lot of time wasted.
It'll get you going. I'm
Breaking
telling you.
Bad, I think I started it and then had to wait, and then I started it again, and then I watched it all.
You know what might get you into Breaking Bad is the fact is if you look at the conspiracy theories between Breaking Bad and The Walking Dead,
Mm.
Oh,
That-
I've seen those.
that might hook you.
I have seen those. And I mean, look, listen, I can tell just by why, I see why people love it, and I respect their opinion because I respect everybody's opinion. Unless you tell me I'm mean or stupid or something, I don't respect that. But I just can't get into it.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that everybody loves it.
To each their own.
Yeah. I'm
Exactly.
just like I
Just
said.
like
I'm
Ryan
gonna,
didn't care for this episode.
Yeah.
Did.
No, I didn't say I didn't care for it.
Okay, that you rated it lower than the rest of us did.
Yes.
Oh no, I'm gonna go back. It was a hot take, is what he said.
hot take. Yeah.
Okay, but that was in between my first
Which
and
is-
second watch of the episode.
which
Not
is-
fair.
Which is basically like saying unpopular opinion.
It grinds.
Thanks,
my
I-
teeth.
I had-
Thanks, Urban
But
Dictionary.
I had an unpopular opinion during the season.
Thanks, Urban Dictionary. Is that what hot take means?
Yeah.
Had no idea.
It's
Thanks.
hot shit.
Yeah. Hot
Don't
take.
hit me. I see you. I see you looking at me.
Here's the actual
and-
quote.
Yeah, it is an actual quote.
I pulled up the text message.
Yeah.
I got the text.
I got the receipts.
Hesitate.
Yeah, I mean, unless any. Yeah.
The moment's passed.
You fucked it up.
Does anybody else have anything they're currently watching?
I started watching Daisy Jones and the Six.
I wanna
Oh,
watch that.
It's so freaking good.
Yeah, Gabby read the book and she's watching the show.
It's so awesome. I love it. It's so good.
Well, you love the music genre stuff, so I mean,
Yeah. Oh yeah. If it's music, I'm all
Right
over
up your
it.
alley.
you could
Yeah.
watch it here.
I started watching this one reality show, but you're all gonna laugh, so I'm not gonna say it.
I'll just say it.
Vanderpump Rules, the spinoff of. I'm a sucker for the Housewives shows,
Mm-hmm.
and this is the spinoff of it. And apparently, there's some huge scandal that somebody cheated, and it's so much coverage that it got me into watching the show. And I finished
What's it called?
in a day.
you don't watch it.
Vanderpump Rules.
Vanderpump?
Yeah.
You don't watch it?
Sounds like a soft porn. Vanderpump. Come and watch Vanderpump on Cinemax After Dark.
I'm Skinamax.
Cinemax. Vanderpump.
Next page comes in.
Yeah, I'm not a big reality show person. It's just not my thing. Yeah.
Housewives are really my only reality show. But now
The last reality show I watched was
Special Forces.
the fucking Love at First Sight thing.
Yeah.
That was the last one I watched. I was like, what the is this?
You like
Talking to a fucking glass door. Will you marry me?
you literally remember what that was.
What else have I watched?
I'm big into the cooking shows. So I love
Okay. Yeah. I can do cooking shows.
yeah. So I love Gordon Ramsay's new show Next Level Next Level Chef.
That was like 3 stories.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep. And
Yeah,
like
that's
it's like
really
the top
cool.
tier kitchen, middle tier in the basement, and
Mhm.
like the basement's like dull lighting, dull blades,
Yeah.
shitty appliances, and like a toaster and a microwave.
I saw the premiere after the Super Bowl.
yeah, yeah, it was so good.
Speaking of cooking shows, did you guys watch The Bear? The series?
I tried watching it.
They've already started filming season 2 and didn't tell anybody.
They couldn't
Oh, that's
wait to
funny.
see.
Yeah, it's like, oh, yeah.
I'm so excited.
They're quick episodes. I mean, I tried getting into it. It's just that like they're so quick where if I'm doing something, I miss the whole show, and then I'm like,
Mm.
what?
They're like 25 minutes long.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're short, but John Bernthal's in it, which was cool.
That is very cool.
And yeah, he just has a short little bit in it, but I thought it was so good. I loved it.
I just hope that they stop calling. I understand it's a sign of respect, but I hope they stop saying chef to every single person.
Right.
Because I forget. I know I understand that. I forget who was who.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, who is this person again?
I mean,
Oh, she's saying
he's
chef.
saying Chef Ryan, Chef Chris, Chef Renee, Chef you.
Yeah, I would be fine, but just saying chef, I get so confused.
Speaking of,
John Berthel, I bought my photo
Oh.
ops. I'm hoping to finally meet him this year. He keeps canceling every show, so I'm hoping this is the time. So I'll let you know.
Have you ever watched his podcast that he does?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I love it.
That's some good shit.
Yeah, it is.
well,
yeah,
speaking of John Bernthal, they announced that he's going to be part of Daredevil,
Yeah.
which is
He's gonna-
fucking awesome.
Going to reprise his role
Yep.
as the Punisher.
You know, I would love. I think I've talked about this before. I would love to see him as Cosmic Ghost Rider because all that is Punisher with the Ghost Rider spirit, the Force.
Mhm.
I think he would be a really cool Cosmic Ghost
I
Rider.
know that there's been some talk of Norman Reedus doing Ghost
Ghost
Rider.
Rider. Mhm.
Yeah. Which, I mean, he's
I'm
got
okay
the
with
bike.
that, you
Yeah, he's
know?
got the bike. He's
Yeah,
got,
I got the bike thing.
yeah.
Maybe after.
Continue without me.
Chris is visiting the little lady's room.
I love these little ladies now.
Yeah, you know,
Very fitting.
I got to make fun of him until he comes back and punches me in the arm and gives me a dead arm.
Meanwhile, my dog is sitting here pawing at me, wondering why I haven't picked her up yet.
We'll pick her up.
Now you scared?
Don't look at the puppy. Look at the puppers.
She's scared, but she's loving this. Hi. Hi. What are you doing? You want to get down now? You got your attention? Say hi. Okay. I'm gonna...
Oh, if you guys watch Shadow and Bone,
And she
Mhm.
knocks my headphones out.
it's
No.
kind of a fantasy one. It's on Netflix, and
Okay.
Ben Barnes is in it. And
Wait, what is it? My headphones are out.
Shadow and Bones.
I've heard of it. I heard really good things about it.
Yeah, I just started watching it. Or watched the first season, and I was like, oh no, when's the second season come out? And it comes out like maybe this week. It comes out really soon, so I was excited that I didn't have to wait forever. But it's really good if you like fantasy kind of things. Yeah.
I'm kind of hit or miss with that. Have you guys watched? It's a comedy, so I don't know how you feel about comedies.
I love
Abbott Elementary.
we're
Mm-mm.
right now plugging right through it.
Oh my god, it is like she's posting SNL in like 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
It's gonna be so good.
Because Tyler James Williams, who played Noah, is in it, and I
Yes.
love his character.
Mm.
Have you watched it?
No, I have not. I've heard nothing but good things, though.
It's
What?
really easy to get through season 1. It's only like
Yeah.
13 episodes.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about it.
It's outstanding. Everybody
Yeah.
is in it. Every single character is hilarious. And what's her name? The redhead teacher.
Lisa. Well, in the show it's Shementi, but in real life it's Lisa and Walter.
Yeah, she's so funny.
Well, she's Chessie from The Parent Trap.
Exactly. Yeah.
Chris, do you watch Abbott Elementary?
What is it?
He's like,
Abbott Elementary?
It's a sitcom.
It's
No.
Elementary.
No.
It's filmed in the style of like The Office, Parks and Rec,
Yeah.
Modern Family,
And
where it's
then-
supposed to be like a documentary crew.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in this school, elementary school, and then Noah from The Walking Dead is in it.
Mhm.
He's outstanding. He
Yeah.
won several awards for his the show itself.
The whole cast is
Yeah,
swept
they've won so many awards for it, but it's hilarious. It's just oh my gosh.
We're putting like 3 or 4 people into the show already. It's
Yeah.
great.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it's a good one. But
Go
that
ahead.
Tyler James Williams, his character kind of reminds me of Jim from The Office. He makes those
Like-
fake at the camera.
That's awesome.
It's you can stream it on Hulu if it helps.
Okay.
But when Chris was saying how like he'll step away and the episode's done, I'm kind of starting to get a little worried with that because the episode's only like 22 minutes long.
Yeah. Yeah, they're quick. So it was hard for me to like keep track of what was going on.
Get a meal, sit in front of the couch, and watch it while you eat. That way you have to sit for like 20
Yeah.
minutes.
Well, you
That's
know,
what we do. Is we've been watching out of Elementary of Joy, and so I will get our food and we sit down and watch one episode with her.
I
Yeah.
live by myself, so that's what I do every night.
Yeah.
all right. Yeah, I mean, I'm good if you guys are good.
Yeah, all good.
Everybody's gonna start checking out, and they're going to bed anyway.
Yep.
Mhm.
Especially our UK people,
Yeah. Who?
Or Finnish people or French people.
Finnish
Yeah.
people. Yeah, Linda, yeah, I'm sorry. When we come back, you guys should have your time jump. You should have your hour bump by the time we come
I
back.
think so because
Yeah.
we're off next week.
It'll be the week of the 27th.
Yeah, they
So
might
much
not.
fun.
Yeah, I don't know what date. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll probably have to be a Tuesday that week.
But we will let you know. We'll remind you about the time zone thing just in case.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Make sure I put that in
Yeah,
We'll make a note
sure
of that.
make sure your clocks are ahead.
there.
No, it's not your fault, Linda. What you weren't here for is we realized that
I
in the
told her in
U.S.
chat.
Oh, you did? Okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, it definitely threw us for a loop for a second.
Yeah,
Made me late for work this morning.
early or late?
Late.
Mm.
Like last time, it took me almost a week to get adjusted. So today I left for work. I was running a little behind because I feel like, I lost the hour. But I never changed the clock in my car.
Mm.
So for the past, 3 months, I looked and I was like, oh, okay, it's only if it says 7 o'clock, I'm like, oh, it's 6 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So today I'm driving to work and it says like 9:30, and I was like, oh, it's like 8:30. I'm doing really good today. And then I'm like, oh shit, no, it's 9:30.
It's right now.
Yeah, not a fan of this. I'm done with it. Hopefully they're done with it because I'm just tired of having to do this bullshit where your body has to like go through this adjustment period.
Yeah.
And it's just stupid.
It's like a combination of jet lag and hangover.
It's weird. Yeah, you got a little foggy. Like you wake up different. Everything's different, and it takes you a little bit. So
It was rough. We need if there's going to be a time change, it has to happen on like a Friday so we get the whole weekend to recuperate and not just one day.
see, yeah, and they do this on like a Saturday and a Sunday morning. It's like, come on,
Yeah.
like you got to be particular on what day you do it on.
Do it on
Um,
Monday and give us Tuesday off.
There. All right, everybody. Well, we will let you know when we'll be back, and we have our ratings to do. So we'll be rating every episode and our overall rating of The Last of Us, and we'll give you a breakdown of that, of each episode and everything. And yeah, we'll see what else everyone's been up to in the past. After the next 2 weeks goes by. So we hope to see you guys back.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
it.
Usually do like, so like I didn't see that. And that's like sign.
I was waiting for someone else to like say something.
No,
Jeez.
you always do our sign off. So
Sign off. I was waiting on you.
Should I do the Ron Burgundy?
Please.
I don't know.
Oh no.
Yeah.
All right.
I would have to read something.
We
I'll
have
just
to
go
have a
down here.
prompter.
Yeah, give me some dates when you're free, and I'll ask him. Okay, I'll enjoy the series. I'll message Lucy. Okay.
All right. Have a good night, guys.
1 hour, Chris. Ah.
Bye, guys.
Good night.
Hey, Renee, Chris, and Ryan going live. Best podcast, Beauty and the Beast. Sit back and catch a vibe. Oh yeah, we talking zombies and apocalypses and all those things you like. Going beast mode, and if you didn't know, it's Peter Z up on the mic. Whoa, hey, TWD family, grab the snacks about the pantry and subscribe and like if you can, please. Or those walkers eat you like some candy. Hey, okay. You at the right place at the right time. No one does it better, that's the bottom line. Beauty and the Beast, this is prime time. Let's go.